is coverage you can count on. WGAL News 8 at 5 starts now.
Some oppressive heat in the Susquehanna Valley today, making this an alert day for some potentially life-threatening conditions. Welcome to News 8 to 5, everyone. I'm Brian Rush.
And I'm Lori Burkholder. From power getting knocked out for thousands in Adams County to Lancaster SPCA seeking some emergency assistance, the News 8 team is covering all angles of today's extreme heat.
First of all, though, the check of just how hot it is, we're going to turn to meteorologist Mike Susko here.
Yeah, guys, we were seeing temperatures in the mid to upper 90s right now across the area. So it is very hot out there, and it's going to continue to be so as we go through the next couple of hours. Now, current temperatures actually in Gettysburg, the sensor there registering 100 degrees. Harrisburg, you did get the 97 that would tie the record for the day today. Right now it's 96 though, so we'll see if it jumps back up. But no matter where you are, it feels like it's in the triple digits. It feels like temperature or heat index value of 105 in Harrisburg. Lancaster, it feels like 104 for you. 110 in Gettysburg and 105 in Lewistown. It's those heat index values of 105 and above. That's why we have the extreme heat warning in effect there. That's that bright pink that you see covers everybody in the Susquehanna Valley. That will go until Wednesday. So we have tomorrow and Wednesday as well to deal with this hot and humid air. Storm Team Live Radar Network, though, it's quiet. It's just hazy, hot and humid due to high pressure. And that is going to be the story as we go through the evening here. So the next 12 hours, temperatures do drop back into the upper to mid 60s or 70s, excuse me, overnight tonight. And if we get down to around 76 here, which is the forecasted low, that would be the warmest low for tonight. So we're not only going to be seeing hot temperatures during the days, guys, but also not getting much relief at night. So just make sure you're staying safe here the next couple days. Things get a lot better, though, towards the weekend.
All right, thanks, Mike. And the heat's impact have gone far beyond just a little uncomfortable.
Right now, MedEd says more than 3,300 customers in Adams County are without power and air conditioning and fans thanks to an outage at their substation last night.
And let's go to Bailey Martin. She's been in Littlestown Borough all day fielding concerns from those very hot neighbors, I can imagine. Bailey?
Yeah, I can attest. I was outside. It is hot. It is miserable. But here in Littlestown in Adams County, we're in the cooling shelter where it's a little bit more bearable. Thankfully, over 3,000 residents have found themselves without power, and this is a little bit of a reprieve for them. And the community has really come together to quite literally make lemonade out of lemons. They've brought all of their resources, whether it's small business owners, large corporations. Texas Roadhouse brought rolls and butter and that lemonade that you just saw there. Small businesses bringing water bottles. There was Subway here earlier, but Sam's Club brought pallets of water in through this area. And we are continuing to follow these small businesses that are really just making this a whole community affair.
They are enjoying socializing with people they've never met, neighbors that they, see every so often. So for as miserable as it's been with the temperatures, the humidity, this really is not as bad as it could be.
I won't be surprised if you see more people drop things off. This is minor compared to what other businesses could do in this town. But we're staying open where we're at and trying to see what we can do. But small businesses need to support each other, and we need to support the community too, because it is a very little town.
Yeah, and like we said, those resources are here in Littlestown and all throughout Adams County. Kona Ice here as well, giving us a little bit cool to the hot of the day. But, we have checked in. Adams County Emergency Management says that this could last anywhere from midnight tonight to the next couple of days. So stay with us as we bring you those updates and try to keep you cool out here in the heat. But for now, live in Littlestown, Bailey Martin, News 8.
All right, thank you, Bailey. By the way, humans are not the only ones dealing with the heat today. The Lancaster SPCA saying their HVAC system is currently overwhelmed because of the high temperatures.
And News 8's McKenna Alexander continues our live team coverage on South Prince Street, right there in the city, with how they're handling it right now. McKenna.
Yeah, well, Laura, the way they're handling it right is they don't have an HVAC system currently in the lobby and part of the shelter here. They do have the indoor kennels a little bit air conditioned, but they're really needing everyone's help tonight because they've already taken the cats to another shelter so that they can be fine, because cats, of course, are very sensitive to heat. But it's really the dogs here that are really struggling. So, what we've got right now is in the lobby and main entrance area, they've got 1, 2, 3 fans helping cool people off. But let me tell you, I'm sweating. We've been here a while, and, the hardworking sweating. Volunteers here are sweating even more. So what they really need help with tonight is getting these dogs out of the building and into a safe home for the evening where it is cool and they will be safe and they'll be loved. So if you are already a foster, if you've already been vetted, these dogs here, this is where you're going to be needing to help. So if you're, again, you have to already be vetted, you have to already gone through the process, you do that online, and really they're just getting the word out tonight to fosters to come in, grab a dog, just keep them for a few nights to keep them cool. We've already spoken with a woman who did come in and get a foster that she's had before. People have been bringing in cool drinks for the volunteers. So again, any of these dogs here that you have, if you're already a foster parent, come in, come grab a dog just for a night or two so that they can get this place safe until they get the HVAC system back up and running. I'll be sure to bring you more on News 8 at 6 about how frequently they see this issue each summer. But for now, live in Lancaster, McKenna Alexander, WGAL News 8.
All right, McKenna, thanks so much. And as these cooling centers continue to pop up, you can see the full list of the times and the days for those centers. Just head to our website, WGAL.com. We do have a complete list there, and we keep updating it. And as this heat wave develops, you'll want to stay up to date with the forecast to make sure you have it everywhere you go. You can download the WGAL app. Make sure you turn on the alerts.
And we're continuing to follow breaking news from the Middle East. U.S. officials confirming today that Iran did attack an American military base in Qatar.
And this all appears to be in retaliation for the U.S. bombing of Iran's nuclear sites over the weekend.
The Al Udeid Air Base in Qatar is home to about 5,000 to 10,000 U.S. troops. But so far, we understand that there were no casualties, no injuries. New video over Doha, Qatar's capital, shows missiles flying and interceptors swatting them out of the sky. That's what you're looking at there. Qatari officials say 19 missiles were fired. One hit the ground, but again, no injuries or casualties.
And President Trump visited that base just last month with leaders from Pennsylvania weighing in on the attacks today on social media. 10th District Republican Congressman Scott Perry saying that those who oppose the strikes against the Iranian regime need a serious wake-up call. And Republican Senator Dave McCormick says that President Trump has made it clear if you attack American soldiers, the response will be rapid and severe.
The president warned them not to retaliate, but he was also very clear that the threat of Iran obtaining nuclear capability is a threat not just to Israel and the Middle East, but to the United States as well.
What are the Trump administration plans to avoid another potentially disastrous war in the Middle East where thousands of American lives are potentially at risk?
Well, in the past, Iran did threaten American forces at that air base, which hosts the forward headquarters of the U.S. military Central Command.
For all we know, they may have gotten sleeper cells into the country during Joe Biden's wide open border. So the threats are serious, and we take them seriously.
And some Republican lawmakers, including the Department of Homeland Security, are suggesting that so-called Iranian sleeper cells are lying in wait to carry out terror attacks on our soil.
Let's go to Christopher Salas. He joins us live in our Washington bureau. So, Christopher, DHS, they spoke with governors about the threat environment. What was said there?
Yeah, Brian, Lori, that's exactly right. And one source on that call tells me that DHS warned governors this conflict has opened up a new chapter when it comes to security, and Jewish institutions in particular should be considered at an elevated risk. But the White House said as of this morning, there are no specific or credible threats. Iran has fired missiles at U.S. bases overseas as U.S. officials are on high alert for attacks at home.
We recognize that as tensions escalate, that means that there could be more potential for threats here at home.
A new DHS bulletin is warning of a heightened threat environment in the U.S. due to the conflict. Cyber attacks from Iranian-backed hackers are likely, and violent extremists may be inspired to act, especially against Jewish groups if Iran calls for retaliation.
The play here, if you were Iran, is to think about the power of fear. If you know that you can ideologically motivate people to do bad things in your name.
Secretary Noem was asked about potential attacks on Monday.
We are continuing to evaluate every single threat and to proactively go after them before they do anything or take any activity.
Major cities, including New York, D.C., and L.A., say they're monitoring public safety threats after the DHS and FBI briefed state governors and other local officials on Sunday. Experts say direct attacks on U.S. soil are unlikely.
I think the most likely attacks from Iran will be in the region, in the Middle East, against military facilities.
And along with that domestic security alert, the State Department just issued a worldwide travel warning for Americans abroad, telling them to exercise caution, particularly in countries where there may be protests against the U.S.'s recent action. Brian, Lori?
Christopher, Iran is also making a threat to hurt the U.S. economically. How could they do that?
Yeah, Brian, that's exactly right. So Iran is considering disrupting the global oil supply by closing the strategic Strait of Hormuz. This is a vital shipping lane for about 20 million barrels of oil daily. Such a move, experts say, would send oil prices skyrocketing, and it could disrupt the entire economy, global economy. President Donald Trump has warned Iran against doing that, blocking the Strait of Hormuz, but he also has said that U.S. production could offset any of the lost barrels of oil if that were to be closed.